navigated, 3 days of training camp. I kind of laugh because you played so much basketball, but this is like the level you've always wanted to get to. So has the dream of playing NBA kind of lived up to it so far during camp?
Yeah, I mean, yes, it has. It's asking a lot of questions. It's being a student. It's watching first. It's, all that stuff before you go out there and do it. You don't want to be the guy to mess things up. You want to make sure that things are clear before you go in there. And thankfully, guys like Brad and Spencer and Trez and Kuz have been really vocal with me about where they want to see me on the floor, what's open and what I can do. And I feel really confident. I feel clear-headed on the floor, and I'm in a really good spot. Thanks to the guys out there, they're making it really easy.
So I always ask rookies that have experienced summer league, what was it like when it was over with? And then when you get to camp, were you like, whoa, that was different than Vegas, and Vegas was different than college? Have you noticed, like,
yeah, well, yeah,
it's really good, and
yeah,
really like all that stuff?
Yeah, no, it's different. Like, it's part of the same, part different. Coach West was with us at summer league, and he ran every practice, and he, like basically put in our offensive system in summer league. So I had a little bit of a head start coming here, and everything I'm seeing as far as the offensive system goes is review. But with that being said, yeah, Spencer and Brad weren't handling the ball in summer league. So that's the adjustment, is to get used to that caliber of player. And honestly, it makes my job a lot easier too, playing off those guys. That's what I wanted when I came here. That's what I was so excited about. Is because they make a job, and they make my job really easy with how good they are.
One follow-up: when do you challenge Dallas for range 3-point shooting?
We're figuring it out. Yeah, we'll make sure to let you guys know when it happens.
Hey, Corey, I must ask about your Mariners hat. And who are your favorite all-time Mariners, and are Ichiro and or Yusei Kikuchi on that?
I would say my all-time favorite, although I was a toddler when he was playing, was Ken Griffey. But yes, Ichiro was a very big part of my childhood. Yusei Kikuchi, a little bit less. I mean, he's kind of been in and out, injuries and stuff like that, but he's been great for our starting rotation. But yeah, Ichiro, I'm really happy that he, stuck around through some pretty dark days in Seattle, because he made it a bright spot coming to those games. It was a lot of fun to watch him play.
Staying on the year here.
Yep.
Obviously, the rest of your family is on the West Coast.
Mhm.
You're a Washington guy.
Mhm.
What is it like? Just kind of, I know you guys are like in apartments and all focused on basketball, but do you feel like you've had time to like take stock of the life part of it yet? Like, you talk to your family, did they kind of help you move in or make that transition at all?
Absolutely. So, my mom was out here for a few days, just kind of helping me move in when I first got here, and thank the Lord, because she's a while ago, she spent probably 5 or 7 years as an interior designer professionally. So yeah, I mean, she like had my style like pinned down, and she's like, Corey, I'm gonna get this couch for you, this bed frame, this wall stuff for you, and she like laid out this like beautiful apartment for me, and all I had to do was say yes. And I felt like I was on like a real life character on HGTV, because she just made my apartment look so good. So she's been great, and then my parents will be out here during the preseason for a little bit, and then at the end of October.
Have you had a chance to get any free time yet? Like, do you make time in the day to make sure, like, okay, I need to clear my mind to relax, or I don't want to do any of that stuff? Absolutely,
yeah. I mean, thankfully, our practices are kind of in the middle of the day. And we're done by 2, so plenty of sunlight left to kind of explore and do all that stuff. I play a lot of golf, so I've been doing that a little bit. Getting out to courses and driving ranges and stuff, and trying to stay sharp there. And I'm actually still in the master's program at Gonzaga, so kind of doing a little bit of homework still.
What are you doing your master's in?
MBA, yeah, business.
I just remember like reading all the stories about how you're like Mr. Perfect or whatever. I'm like, okay, this is all falling.
Yeah, not even close. I still hate doing homework, but I'm gonna do it anyways.
I also wanted to ask you what type of communicator Spencer is. He's obviously a little low. He says he's still learning you guys, but what is it like when he's talking on the floor?
Yeah, he commands a lot of respect from a lot of people. It's clear that he's seen, every sort of defense, and he also is really articulate. Like, he says exactly what he means, and there's no confusion about what he means or where he wants you to be, and looks you in the eye and is really intense about it. And there's a lot of respect for somebody like that, someone who can have a clear conversation with you and isn't afraid of conflict or confrontation when it's needed. He's a really good leader from what I've seen so far.
Going back to the NBA talent level and being around it for the first time,
Yeah.
What has kind of stood out to you the most? Is it the size, the athleticism, the shooting? Is there something that has been like, wow, this is the NBA?
Yeah, well, I would probably say that, like you don't get a break. Like, I mean, every single guy on the floor is on the floor for a reason, and in college, there were, certain people that got on the floor that you kind of like, sag way off of, couldn't shoot, couldn't but in the NBA, that's just not the case. No matter who you're guarding, especially on this floor with all this talent, like you have to be on 100% of the time. So, the speed is, I feel like I've gotten used to the speed and the athleticism and the size, and I played against some really good athletes in college, and this is better, but it takes a little bit, a little less for that. But for me, it's just exactly like how talented every single person on the floor is. Like there's no dip, no matter, 1 to 15.
And obviously, a lot of people talk about your shooting, but you also get a lot of praise for your ability as a cutter.
Mhm.
Kind of how did that develop for you, and why do you think people praise you as a cutter? What are kind of your priorities?
Yeah, that really I molded that part of my game last year. We were a very spatially aware team at Gonzaga. We knew exactly where everybody was on the floor, when to cut, how to cut, the timing of it. We gelled so well as a team that cutting was a huge part of our offense, and is a huge part of the way that I scored points. So, the space is more. There's more space in the NBA, and there's more gaps to cut in. And guys like I've talked with guys like Brad and Aaron and Spencer. They know I'm going to cut, and they know I'm going to be there. So they got their heads up looking for it, and it's just another wrinkle we can add.
In terms of learning chemistry with your teammates, I would imagine cutting there's a degree of difficulty, or at least it takes some time so you don't run into other players, right? Kind of what was that like at summer league, and what is that like now? Just kind of like trying to build that chemistry as a cutter.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's definitely been some moments where I feel like I'm on top of guys, or I'm taking away space from guys, and I'm learning as much as they are. So they're learning about me, and I'm learning about them. So it's just a patience thing, just waiting it out and ironing out the kinks, and we'll be there soon enough. But yeah, definitely won't stop cutting, and definitely won't stop, trying to get in the mix and get my nose in there.
One more. I did meet your mom. She's a very nice lady, but did you feel like you could veto, or did you veto any of her design?
Yeah, I did veto some design decisions. Yeah, I did. But part of why she was such a good interior designer is that she has like a read on people. Like she has this gift that if you spend 5 minutes with her, she can I think you'll like this in your living room, and this accent color and whatever. This is kind of your style. And she's been around me for 18 years, and so she's got it nailed down pretty good. But ultimately, I'm the one swiping the credit card, so I got the final veto power.
All right, Corey, we're going to transition to Zoom for questions. Christos.
Hello, Corey. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. What was the biggest adjustment that you made in those days in the training camp so far?
Did you ask what biggest adjustments?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. I kind of mentioned it earlier, just getting to know the players on the team. I haven't played a lot of minutes yet and don't have a lot of experience with the guys on the floor. So making sure I can get in every rep I can and ask questions and be a student on the floor probably is the biggest adjustment, over the speed or the athleticism or anything else, really.
And also you have teammates like Bradley Beal, Kyle Kuzma, Montrezl Harrell. How important about your growth as a player is this situation, and do you expect to learn from them this season?
Yeah, it's been great. I expect to learn a lot, especially from those guys that are coming from the Lakers. They've won rings and they've been at the highest level. They know what it takes to play there. So, us as an organization want to get to that point in the worst way. So we're gonna, we're gonna work off of the way that they, got to